Okay, so here we go, guys. Before we start everything, please make sure you have read the handout on page 1. We are on page 1 of the handout. Make sure you are right here. And if you don't read the handout, this is not going to work. So I please encourage you, please, for the first session of this part, read the first page top to bottom 2 times and pay attention to the things that are in dark, bold letters and underlined. Dark, bold letters and underlined. So if you're gonna watch right now, you should have read the first page already before started watching this. So we are right here on item number 1 through 4, right in the middle of the page, reviewing the adult, 1 rescuer or 2 rescuer CPR. So remember the 4 important steps. Step number 1, tap and shout. Ask your victim, are you okay? Are you okay? Step number 2, have a bystander go call 911. Say call 911 and bring the AED, the portable shock machine. Later we'll talk about that. Step number 3, very important. Fingers on the pulse and keep your eyes on the chest. Please don't look at the face. Don't look at somebody else. Look at the chest and count in your mind 5 seconds. 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Do you feel the pulse? Yes or no? Is the chest moving? Yes or no? These are very important questions to answer. Let's review the first 3 steps one more time. Step number 1, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? Step number 2, hey, call 911 and bring an AED if one is available. Step number 3, fingers on the pulse and eyes on the chest. You have to look at the chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If there is no pulse and they're not breathing, you have to start doing your compressions. So you need to cross your fingers like this and interlock your fingers and bring the camera in, please. And we have to place the heel of your hand in between the nipples right on the sternum. So crossing your fingers together and leaning forward, and the victim is on the ground. Start doing your compressions 30 times. Then you gotta put your mask on the victim's face, pinch the mask, lift the chin, and breath 1, breath 2. Leave the mask on the face and go to your next set of compressions. "30, again, lift and breath 1 and breath 2. So keep on doing CPR compressions, 30 compressions and 2 breaths until paramedics arrive, you are tired or exhausted, or the victim is responsive and back to life. So we are now at the end of the page 1. So please pause the video and go to the next page, back at the first page, and please read the upper portion of this page 2 before we continue. You may pause the video now and read this here regarding bag masks. So now we're back. I hope you read this part here. And we're going to talk about bag masks, or the ambu-bag. So a bag mask is a device that looks like this. It has a face mask and a bag that you squeeze, and the sharp tip of the mask goes over the bridge of the nose, covering both mouth and nose together. So you put your hand here and press it down. These 3 fingers will pull the chin up. So here's the C and the E. C and E. You press it down and you pull the victim's chin upwards, and you squeeze the bag gently but fully, once and then twice, and your partner does the compressions on the side. So somebody else does 30. Notice you have to keep the airway open and keep the head back at all times. Breath 1, breath 2. Somebody does 30 compressions and you come in and you do your 2 breaths. breath 1 and breath 2. So assuming you have 3 people working together, things will get a little different and a little easier. So you, the rescuer back here, would put both of your hands on the mask and keep the airway open. The one on your left would do the compressions. The one on your right will squeeze the bag twice. And if you get tired, you simply do this. You switch the bags to the other person. We go back and forth every 2 minutes or so, but you must keep the airway open at all times. So this is called a face mask. This is called a bag mask, and your bag and the face shield. Okay, so right now, please pause the video and read the next section, starting with automated external defibrillators. Read this portion on page number 2, and please go to page number 3 and read this portion on the first half here, all the way down to special situations. So once again, page number 2, automated external defibrillators, and page number 3, steps of operations and special situations. You may pause the video and read it now. So we're back again. I hope you read it and you understood all the important points. So let me give you perspective what I've been talking about. Here's an AED. An automated external defibrillator. It's a portable shock machine that comes with these 2 stickers. Notice each sticker is marked with an arrow. One goes on the upper right corner of the victim's chest, and one goes to the left of the left nipple. So most AEDs come with 2 buttons, on and off, and the actual shock button. The newer models AED no longer have a shock button. They shock on their own, but this one has a shock button. So what is the purpose of the AED? As you read previously, it eliminates the abnormal heart rhythm, the twitching of the heart, and restores a cardiac rhythm. The purpose of the AED is not to start the heart. It's to fix a faulty heart rhythm from quivering back into pumping. So therefore, assuming one person is already doing compressions and breaths, you would come in and turn the AED on. And look, it tells you what to do.
Apply pads to patient's bare chest. Plug in pads connector next to flashing light.
You would literally peel this and stick. And
Apply
peel
pads,
this
plug in
and stick.
connector.
And you plug in the connector right here and yell.
Analyzing heart rhythm.
Everyone clear, stand back.
Do not touch the patient.
So it's doing an EKG of the heart and chest into the computer right now.
Shock advised. Charging. Stay clear of patient.
Look at the orange button there.
Deliver shock
When the
now.
orange button
Press
is
the
on, that
orange
means the
button
person
now.
has a shockable heart rhythm. So you would say, everyone clear, I'm going to shock now.
Shock delivered.
And the victim's body would jerk there for a second.
Begin CPR.
And then after the shock, you start doing CPR right away. 30 compressions and 2 breaths. And keep on doing this for 2 minutes. The machine will not shock or analyze the heart rhythm for the next 2 minutes. Let me turn this off now. So after 2 minutes, the machine starts talking again and tells you what to do. But we hope that the first shock will bring the heartbeat back and bring the victim back to life. So remember, CPR is for the brain. We're compressing it for the brain, and the shock is for the heart. And 911 takes care of both. So that's your AED. So now, within the AED package or carrying case, there is usually a towel or a cloth to dry the chest. So a wet chest is going to be a problem. You got to dry the chest first before putting the pads. It also comes with scissors to cut off the shirt and the clothing. And it also comes with a razor to shave excessive hair off the victim's chest. So remember, two things for later: a hairy chest and a wet chest. So now let me take these stickers off. And we're going to pause the video on your side, not on my side. And you need to move on and read the next paragraph right here where it says child CPR, page number 3 at the bottom, child CPR. So I'm going to have you pause the video now and first read the paper. If you don't read it, you're not going to get it. So please make sure you read the paper first before watching the next segment. So now we're back and let's talk about child CPR. So it says right here, the same exact process. Step number 1, ask the child, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? Step number 2, hey, call 911, bring an AED if one is available. Step number 3, check the pulse. Keep your eyes on the chest. Remember, you have to look at the chest. Don't look somewhere else. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. There is no breathing and there is no pulse. So now I start doing my compressions. Again, cross your fingers together in between the nipples, right on the sternum, and begin your 30 compressions. So I'm going to forward it to 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And then again, put your mask on. Breath 1 and breath 2. Repeat, redo, and recycle until the paramedics arrive. Remember, the depth of compression, same as the adult. You already read that before. 2 inches for adults, 2 inches for children. So don't do it soft on children. Continue the same intensity and strength for children as well. At the bottom of your paper, you should have read this already. If you're doing CPR with 2 people together, then your compression and breath ratio will change to 15:2. 2 rescuer CPR children. I give 15 and you give 2 breaths, or vice versa. 1 rescuer, one-on-one, 30 compressions and 2 breaths. So now please pause the video again and continue reading the last page. Page number 4 of your handout. Right here on the top of page number 4 regarding infant CPR skills. I'll pause the video now, please, and read the paperwork. We are back now for infants. So let's review the first things before we start. So where do you compress on infants? Right here on the chest between the 2 nipples using 2 fingers. Where do you check the pulse? Not on the carotid pulse, but on the brachial pulse. Look, inner upper arm. Your thumb is on the inside, your fingers are on the outside. So let's review the skills again. Step number 1, tap the infant and ask, are you okay? Are you okay? Step number 2, hey, call 911 and bring an AED if one is available. Step number 3, check the brachial pulse and keep your eyes on the chest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And if there's no pulse and there's no breathing, keep the head back with your left or right hand and use 2 fingers to compress. And then you would give 2 breaths. If the baby is very small, a newborn, a couple of weeks, a couple of months old, you might cover your mouth over both, mouth and nose together like this, and give your breaths. If they are chubbier, taller, and bigger, pinch the nose and give your 2 breaths. Continue doing compressions, 30 and 2, until paramedics arrive. So on your paper, you should have read already the 2 thumbs encircling hands technique. Now watch this. We are now compressing the infant's chest with thumbs. The baby's flat on the table. I'm doing this 15 times, and then your partner gives 2 breaths. I give 15, you give 2 breaths. But if you are alone, you got to do it from the side, 30 compressions and 2 breaths. 30 compressions and 2 breaths. So please make sure you're reading the paper along as I pause the video for your next segment, so we can continue reading where it says right here, adult choking victims. Adult choking victims. So we're back again. I hope you read the paper. So for the Heimlich maneuver, assuming I'm standing up, you would go behind the person. But before you do this, you would ask the person technically, hey, are you choking? And if they can't say anything, ask them, can you talk? Say something. If they can't say anything at all, then say, I'm going to help you, and go behind the person and put your legs in between their legs right here, and grab their waist and go straight for the belly button as a closed fist. Look, close your fist. Not this way, but this way. Right on the belly button, and then put your other hand around it and begin pulling in an in and up motion like this, like a hug, upwards, in and up, in and up. This is called the Heimlich maneuver. Okay, so we keep on doing this as many times as you have to until they spit it out or until they become unresponsive. And so when they become unresponsive and they pass out, remember the food did not come out or the object is still there. So therefore, you have to say call 911 and bring an AED and begin doing CPR compressions again. After 30 compressions, now before you give 2 breaths, you have to look in the mouth. Do you see the object or the food? If you do, remove it. If you don't dig. Don't start digging, but give 2 breaths. Air may or may not go in, but you have to give the breaths regardless. So you continue doing 30 compressions, and then remove the mask, look in the mouth. I don't see anything. Again, give, and keep on doing CPR until the paramedics arrive. So remember, from responsive choking victims to unresponsive, 30 compressions, look in the mouth, and then you give 2 breaths. So that's all important information for choking victims there, okay? So once again, please pause the video and completely read the last paragraph on bottom here, page number 4. Please read the next paragraph right here on page number 4. Before we continue, so I'll move this out of the way for now. So we're back again for our last demonstration. An infant choking victim. First and foremost, if you pan the camera out a little bit that way for further back. Is it visible? Very good, thanks. So extend your leg forward and grab the infant by the jaw and put them down on your leg, head down, face down, and you begin slapping the back. 5 back slaps. So it would sound something like this, look. Hard enough, but not too hard. So if they cry or cough, that's great news. But if not, you got to flip the victim's face upwards. Look, grab the back of the head. Don't let go of the back of the head. Put them down and support the head. Take your fingers off and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 CPR-like compressions. Again, look, I'm holding the back of the head and the neck together. Head down. Again, so if they're not crying or coughing, keep repeating this. But if you turn the infant face up and they are unresponsive and they're unconscious, it's time to say call 911 and bring an AED, and then put the infant on a table and begin doing your chest compressions. 30 compressions. And then look in the mouth. I don't see anything, you would give 2 breaths. Again, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Look in the mouth, breath 1, breath 2. So remember, when the victim is responsive, you do the 5 and 5. When they are unresponsive, start doing CPR with chest compressions. So hope this video helps you grab the entire idea and the picture along with reading the handout. Please remember to read the whole handout several times and pay attention to the things that are in dark, bold letters, and underlined. Thank you very much.